Good afternoon. I will now call this meeting to order. If you all please stand for our opening prayer.
Father God, we just thank you for all that you do for us, the many blessings on our lives. We thank you for the ability to provide us with to come together and do your will for this city. Help us and lead us and guide us in what we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I have one item to add to the agenda. It is concerning the wastewater project interim funding extension and a Horner and Schifrin invoice. With that addition, I ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 We need to back up and do the roll call for the quorum first. My apologies.
Alderman Martin,
Here.
Alderman Yarber,
Here.
Alderwoman Coulter,
Here.
Alderman Perry.
Here.
Quorum has been established, so now I asked for the approval of the agenda with an addition of the wastewater project interim funding extension and Horner and Schifrin invoice.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Martin. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Yarber. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
No, he's been announcing this whole thing.
Oh, you sound so hoarse, are you ill?
I'm not ill with that. Will force.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of drainage.
Okay, our first order of business is the the 2025 budget. I'm going to give a budget message and then overview. And then I will ask for your discussion. The first item, the projected 2024 revenue that we did not receive, a large portion of it was $150,000 grant from MoDOT because it will not be expended until future years on the airport pavement project, which includes grants from 22 and 23. But the pavement project at the airport will be an item for discussion in 2025. Our other miscellaneous was projected approximately 100,000 more than what we received. And there was a special projects line of 631,781 that we did not receive. And the electric fees billed were budgeted for approximately $306,000 over what we received. However, we did find where the electric fees had been voted to be increased, but that increase was never implemented, which will be needed further discussion on that. The City of Mountain View does not receive sufficient revenue to sustain our current rate of expenditures and retain any reserves. This fiscal year 2025 budget is a step toward correcting this situation to be amended as necessary after all 2024 year-end reporting is completed. The fiscal year change to calendar year for 2023 was not updated in our accounting system until early 2024. We have found some accounts have not been defined properly as to type, asset, liability, revenue, or expense, which caused some revenue and expense reporting to be inaccurate. So to address the documents that are in this packet, the resolution to adopt the budget, if you will, just set that aside for the moment. Next is the budget overview. And this overview is detailed by department according to the also included revenue and expense reports. And you were given updated ones just prior to the meeting. And the 2025 budget numbers are the same as what was included in your packet. The way the report had come out did not include everything that was expended or received for 2024, which is what is under the current budget. I'll go over those in just a few moments. The reports will be as on this budget message. The revenue is by fund and account, and the expense is the fund, department, and account. Some noted differences that you will see as we go through this. In the revenue under general, the court and traffic revenues, as they are paid to the city, they go through our receipt management, but they are deposited under other miscellaneous for admin, although they are budgeted, as you will see, under the court and traffic fines. There are some expenses that are different. One thing is under admin, the youth center, we have an agreement with them to provide electricity up to $7,000. And I could not locate that anywhere in the previous budget. One thing, the mayor's rate of pay, was my understanding when I was elected that it was $500 a month. But my pay was put in at the current rate, which is more than $500 a month. It's closer to $600 a month. But I have had them reduce that back down to $500. And as you will see in previous years, it was $1,200 for each council person and $600 for the mayor. The police expenses, you will see they're down 3 positions and have suspended the cadet program for the 2025 at this time. And the big one was the airport, to $641,000 on repair and maintenance of grounds, not included this year, because that is probably, we don't know, was the projected accumulation of the MoDOT grants that the airport has received. But that airport project has not been, or is just now being started. We got 11 different documents just today that have to be updated for MoDOT before we proceed with that project. For revenue under the parks, we have projected an additional $12,000 for golf fee increases for 2025, which has been entered as miscellaneous revenue for golf at this point to be included in the budget. Those fees will be taken up at the April or January or February council meeting. Under the senior citizens, prior year's budgets included only the meal donations revenue, but we also received a grant from senior aging, which increased from $6,666 to $7,666 per month as of July 1st, 2024. So that has been included in the 2025 budget. Under the elected for the revenue, we've included an additional $360,128 for the .015 per kilowatt hour fee increase that was voted on last council meeting. Under the sewer, water, and wastewater, the sewer revenue is based on the new rate system of the 26 for the base rate and then $9 per 1,000 gallon after the initial. The sewer expense includes the debt service and replacement. And under sanitation, the one increase in the expenses is the tipping fees went up. It is based on $63.04 per ton at an estimated 1,800 tons. Okay. Now, if you will go to what you were presented that shows total of all revenue, the first page. And this is by fund. So if you look at the bottom, the new budget, total revenue projected is $8,001,097. If you go to the left, 2 columns, you will see what was budgeted for the current year, which is 2024, which is 8.880949. But expended year to date, meaning what we have received year to date, is 7.193. That does not include the December sales tax or motor vehicle tax. So you can see why those shortfalls that I just read off make up that almost $1 million difference. And if you follow from the top, the current budget will show what was budgeted and then expended year to date is what we've received in the new budget for each of the funds. Now, that's one page. If you go to the second page, the next 13 pages, or 11 pages, sorry, gives the breakdown of the revenues per fund, per department. You've got the new budget going to the left, the next 2 items or 2 line columns are 2024, then you've got 2023 and 2022. And as you can see, some of this is merely a cut and paste. I'm looking now at the franchise tax. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 17,522. 23, it was 17,000 copied over to the current budget, 17,000.
New papers.
It's the page 1 breakdown.
New
Okay.
papers, franchise.
All right.
Are we gonna lose that franchise tax on telephone?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I mean, it just, nobody's using telephone anymore, so I was just curious.
Because we received over 15,000 this year.
Yeah, okay.
It's on land.
Well, that's for Wright Street.
Okay,
Yes,
right, okay.
they're
that-
included.
Okay.
Okay. Nice to know on
It's not just telephone, no.
Okay.
That's franchise.
Well, it says franchise
Tax
tax
and
telephone,
telephone.
but it is Brightspeed on
Right,
that.
and that's another thing that we have found that many of our accounts, these numbers, this 01044025 for franchise tax. Each of these numbers need to be defined in our accounting system as to the type, is especially what has been missing on some of them, whether they are the asset, liability, or whatever. What I was talking about, the court fines on, it'd be page number 2 of this. the court fines that have been budgeted over the years. And you can see in '22, it was budgeted for 18,000 and 16,692 was received. Then you can see in '23, and then again in '24, budgeted for 18,000 and only received, according to this, 209,000. Well, that,
$209.
$209, yes. So, the court fines and traffic fines, and then there's traffic violation court costs. But then, when,
Have they been put on a different line item? Or,
that's the ones that, when they come through receipt management, I have found they go into admin miscellaneous. And if you look at admin miscellaneous, which is line item on page 4, about the middle of the page, other miscellaneous revenue.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's budgeted for 12,000 back in '22, and it shows received 193,000 plus. So it was budgeted for 190,000 in '23, and again in '24. Budgeted for 190,000. So we received through that line item $77,963 so far this year. But at least 24 and 14,000 from the court fines is in that 77,000. Anybody have any questions on that? Because this is the type of stuff that we are facing.
what other miscellaneous revenue is going in there?
Oh, there's various ones.
But there's how much on court fines going in here, did you say?
Well, what the report that I've got, the court fines and traffic fines, court fines 24,133 and traffic fines 14,472. That's a projection off of what we have received this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not that the money's missing or not being deposited, it's just our tracking for revenue is not as detailed as it should be.
And this is something we're trying to clean up.
Yes, definitely.
So that amounts to 38,000 maybe, so.
Right. Yeah, 38,500.
Yeah, instead of making and identifying new line items for various things, it's all gone into miscellaneous. We've got to do, and this is, we're just talking revenue here. So,
But see, that knocks the revenue down our budget. So
well, there's no reason to
Yeah,
budget for $190,000.
it's not.
That's why we just projected 50,000, because we were taking,
Well, that's what gets you in
Off of
trouble.
that.
You think that's coming in and
yes,
you
and
didn't
it's
get half
not,
of that.
no. So
Okay, understand.
that's why that 100,000 was noted up back in the very beginning on the shortfall.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because the admin revenue is, okay, it's the sales tax, the franchise tax, the motor vehicle tax, business licenses,
Right.
Sunday sales license. You can look and see going down, building permits, annex and zoning, and recording of legal documents, and those things that we haven't been tracking. We don't know where all of it's gone. It's in here somewhere. The airport fuel sales, the top of page 2 of this report. So, current budget is 30,000, but we've already brought in over 52,000. So we are going to promote that airport. That is a source of revenue.
And
Another thing that increased this year was the fire dues. 30,000 budgeted for 2,000, and 30,840 has been received.
Do we go down to the county every year and get new residents on our district? Because I know that was a big source of income a couple of years ago.
We did it last year, but as far as I know, it's not every year. We run through
But
it,
you did do it last year?
yeah, went to the 3 counties and got what residents were in our district. And that's where the letter list came from, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to do that every couple of years, just to,
And I might add, that was done very thoroughly this year with that new list of residents and property locations. Pretty much every I was dotted and every T was crossed to get those out there. And it-
Yes,
it
because
does
we did
reflect-
find, and we have been notified of people that have paid their dues for several years and are in the Willow Springs district instead of the Mountain View, the city district, which we only have records back a couple of years, but
well, I know
we do have to have a couple of refunds.
when I lived on the farm, I paid them in Peace Valley and Mountain View too. You know, that way,
I guess if you choose to do that into
But I
places,
think-
that would be good.
isn't it out there, I was in Peace Valley, I think, but I don't know.
I'll be out pretty close, so you probably were.
Another income that we need to audit and make sure that we are getting what we're supposed to is the lease income on the hangars at the airport. And I'm not sure what we have in writing or where those records are kept. We will have to research that for the airport leases.
Oh, yeah.
They need to be in the clerk's office.
Isn't one of those hangars coming back to the city pretty soon?
I'd have to go through both the leases. I do not remember the dates on them. It's big.
Another thing that wasn't tracked last year was the interest revenue that we get off of the bank accounts. And I know that Alderwoman Coulter had inquired about a different report that she had seen the last few budgets, and we did locate that. We already had it, but it is an Excel spreadsheet. It's not taken out of G-Works. So it looks a little different. It has some typos on it. It's a hand-created, not generated from our accounting system. So we did not.
But it's just almost like it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell that what was done in the Excel, then the budget amounts were entered into G-Works, but not the same format. So, but the records are still here, but that's why this looks a little different than this. And that's why some of this had, instead of a new budget, 24, it just had a copy of 23 for a couple of them. Right here, this one had the new budget of 2021-22. This is part of the 24 budget that we're looking at. So
Yeah, 'cause
we're not gonna be using this. We won't be using that format. We're gonna stay with our,
But this is the first complete year. In other words, they changed it last, okay, our year used to go from July
July to June.
June, and now this is the first actually full year that it's gone from
no,
January.
2023 was the
2023.
full year, but it didn't get changed into the system
Into
until 2024. So 2023 records are not accurate. We're gonna have to do a lot
Right,
more
because there's only
hand.
6 months
Six
worth of it.
months
Well,
on 23.
no, As the auditor explained to us, we will have to have an audit from July 1st of '22 to December 31st of '22. You can't audit more than 12 months. Then we have to have '23, January through December. There'll be a lot of handwork to be done for the '23 audit. But let's get back to this revenue.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions on the revenue part of this report, or this budget?
Yeah, the very, okay. We're showing nothing. It said, I mean, 2 years ago, it said we got $70,000 from the county ARPA, and then all of a sudden it went blank to zero, to nothing on page 4 on the revenue.
Well, the only ARPA that we know for sure is the 14.9 that's still left. That will be expended in 2025.
Okay, so we've got nothing coming in from MoDOT CARES Act grant, or MoDOT CARES Grant 2, or Howell County CARES Act grant, expended year to date, we've got nothing coming in on those
Not
guys?
to our knowledge, no. That we will be receiving the MoDOT 150,000
But that's
grant,
just
but
strictly
not
for the airport.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
not gonna be money that we get in 2025.
Okay.
So we're not projecting that we're gonna get any ARPA revenue this year at all in
In
25?
2025, not that we know of,
Yeah, the only
definite
number I'm
no.
aware of is what we've already got going, like, we got 200,000 for the lead service line, and then we had some ARPA money left over that we've used, for some work at the airport. That's what we was hoping to possibly use some of that for the removal of that fuel tank.
That's what I was gonna ask you, could you not
You
use the
can
rest?
use some of
But
that.
you don't carry over though.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
what we're budgeting for is what we were receiving and expending in 2025. Any other questions on the revenue part? If not, let's go to the next one, which is the expenses. First page is basically the same format. It gives you what 2022, 23, 24 was, and the new budget.
Before we jump over there, the new electric rates is figured in here, the projected golf rates is figured in here, and the sewer rates, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're to the expenses.
That's that one.
And they,
Okay, that's what I meant.
everybody got their expenses in front of us?
Budget right
Right
here.
here.
Yeah. And this is our page.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody got it? Any
Yep.
question about the first page? This is by fund.
Well, like on the electric, is that why we kind of got, I mean,
Why we were short, I would say. I mean,
yeah. it was
the
like
budget was for 3
$1 million.
million, and we didn't get that much.
And then, because ours is higher than last year projected, is because of the new rate, right?
Correct.
Am I understanding that? Okay.
Correct.
On the senior citizen total,
Yes.
why are we projecting that?
Because for one thing, the 40,000 that has been in the budget for the, as you'll see when we get over there, but I think it's at 52,000 is what has come in. So we're getting more than the 40,000.
They raised it sometime or other. Okay.
Okay, the next next part of this, page 1 through 16 is all the departments that are under general. And if you go back to your overview, the general fund includes admin, police, airport, streets, cemetery, community center, the industrial park, fire, library, court, and shop. So, page 1 through 16, so the general total, 2575798. Here, take that one.
Thank you.
And I will interject here that we need the transportation fund, which we had taken one of the CDs that had less interest than what our checking account was, and designated that for transportation. So for 2025, our accounting system needs, like we have a park fund, a sanitation fund, electric fund, we need the transportation fund. But again, that's an accounting procedure.
Industrial park, there.
That's that
Yeah, that's 15,000.
Ozark development, that 15,000, yes.
You see it among
Okay,
that.
but see, yeah, I
Yes.
know that is, but half of that,
I cannot find
but see,
anything from the Jacksport Foundation. We paid 15,000 last year. Nothing about,
nobody gave us any money last year then. I was under the understanding to either talk to Charles Cantrell or to Steve Vines up at the bank, and they would lead us in the direction of the 7,500. That's who it came from. And I told you, Eddie, I called him that one day, I didn't know, the information didn't get past, but
yes, it got passed, but I was looking at what we had gotten previously. And I haven't found it.
nobody gave us 7,500 last year, right?
Not that I could find, no.
Okay.
So
Now,
that is something to pursue, yes, but
you lost
we don't know it yet.
on the CD, where did you say it should be added to this?
No. With,
We got it.
just that was a transportation fund that was set aside for the transportation fund. No, this is a projection of what we're getting in
Right.
2025. That was just an accounting note that we have got to have another fund in this bank form.
What do we need to do to cut the red down in the expenses?
Well, this has been going on for many, many years, so we've cut down as much as we possibly can at this point. We have to work at coming in well below the budget for next year. We have to take one step at a time.
Well, I'm gonna say this on the overview, on the parks. If we're that in parks, that is excellent. I realize we cut it full-time at the golf course.
Yes, there's been cuts and we don't know exactly what salaries and all of that's gonna be for. But as your park fund, see the salaries are showing less. And back to the expenditures on the general fund.
Yeah.
We are hoping after the end of the year reporting and everything, because payroll, there was a lot of overtime paid out instead of going to comp. There was created overtime. And we had significant human resource issues that had to be corrected. This budget is based on base salaries only, with no overtime.
But comp time, but no overtime.
Right. Yes.
But we gotta realize comp time is still costing us. Because,
Well, another thing, on call
yes,
for so long was paid at time and a half for some reason instead of straight time. But that's been corrected also.
yeah, and there's a couple departments that's on call that I think is totally unnecessary.
There are several personnel issues that will have to be taken up in closed session after January 1. Okay. Let's go on and finish this, and then we can come back with specific questions then. We do have some part-time people that have been working almost full-time, and that's another issue that has to be addressed. On page 16 is where it starts for the park, for the expenditures. And this is really based on what records that we have that most of that comes through receipt management, except for
60.
the start bottom 16.
I thought she said 15.
We're hoping that the revenue for this will increase. 71 is the pool. As you can see, one major thing is the repair and maintenance of the buildings. And that's another thing that after December the 31st, we should have a full accounting of exactly what the pool project costs the city. That's an investment that we need to support, and endorse, and promote.
Did we get all the grant money we was entitled to on the pool?
Yes, we did get that last $80-some thousand.
Okay.
Part of it in 23, this year. If you look back through those old
I
figures.
see.
Yes.
I just wondered if that was the last that we were supposed to get, was the 80-some.
Yes, yes.
200,000. Total.
Yes. Okay, then you've got the golf. Yeah, and that line item 07725000, the 170,000 should include the salaries, the insurance, retirement, social security. We don't yet know how much part-time we'll have out there this summer. But again, it needs to be promoted. It is an asset to the city. The biggest expenditure on the repair and maintenance of the grounds, which is on page 20, budgeting, or it's for 75,000 for, that is mainly those chemicals, and we've already made the contract for those.
The machinery and equipment, what's?
They're asking for a mower. We talked about that before. And I'm just gonna throw out here, there's a mower for the Parks Department and a mower for the golf course. And four of the departments have asked for 10,000 each to combine for a $40,000 dump truck. Why on earth the city has not bought them a dump truck in the past, I don't know how many years, is beyond my comprehension. There's another truck, and I don't know which truck it is, that needs a cab. The chassis is good, but the passenger seat is a stack of tires. There's no reason for this to have happened, but I've got off subject now. Okay. To the senior citizens. Again, we do have the grant and the donations. That is the only revenue that comes to the city. Now, they do get other grants, but they don't come through the city. There is the issue of the 501(c) and the city entity at the same time that we do have to take care of this year,
Can
2025.
we back up just on that 6912 on the golf up there at the very top? Is that for them new carts?
Yes,
And
and that is,
what's the principal payments? We just passed that before me and you both discussed on that one.
well, the 6912 is the payments that we're supposed to be making, and I did not break it out. Oh, the principal
The
payments.
principal, yes.
Oh, that's on the, we have PNC Equipment Finance. There are two of them, for the golf mower and equipment and for the groundsmaster, 1,200. That's the amount of the payments. They don't break that payment. They're considered lease
Right.
payments.
But it's for two equipment, right? Two different,
Yeah, the streets, it says, golf mower and equipment is one of them, and the groundsmaster 1,200 is the other.
Two pieces of equipment.
that's what I was trying to say, we couldn't say it. Thank you.
Yeah, when it says golf mower and equipment, I believe that is the attachments that went with it. Oh, by the way, we have found the original contracts on most of these things.
I know this don't have nothing to do with the budget, but, down in front of the maintenance shed out there that you need to look into, there is a big brush hog. I think it's 10 or 12 foot wide. It needs tires put on it so it can be pulled, and it's sitting down there rusted.
Well, in speaking with our different department supervisors, I have found a lot of relatively small things that desperately need to be taken care of, and I hope that going forward we can do that. Such as, I'm told that they can get a cab for $1,000 for that vehicle. Anyway, I won't get on my soapbox today, people.
I looked around at Eddie, and
He's not there.
He's disappeared. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it went to stool, right?
No. Hush.
Okay.
My briefcase I kicked over. Sorry to bring us back up. Go ahead.
Yeah. And
Are we
we haven't
going to?
taken,
Okay, the pool, I know that's in, are we going to
are
discuss?
we going back to that?
Well, no, I mean, we are going to address that at a later date, the pool. I mean,
Address it?
Charges.
Yeah, the charge.
Just the total,
Yeah, this is
the
just.
total project, yes. We
This-
need a
okay.
total project fund, I mean,
That's
a
what I'm asking.
report of the total project. Just like we will have a report on the Oak Street project.
No,
So
what I
that we
was,
know.
what I was getting at was, we are going to address the revenue at a later date before the pool opens. The amount of revenue the pool brings in. In other words, we're charging $2.
Oh, yes,
per
that,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
We're making projections off of what we have
Okay, this is
received
just
already.
what we
so
know has come in, and this
This-
is, okay.
We usually do that.
There is no doubt that this budget will need to be amended.
Okay.
That we,
Well, as long as we got the revenue projected and we decide to make more revenue on this, then we're doing good. We're
Right.
doing more on the black.
yeah, yes. And as the resolution will cover, you know, there are transfers in and out as long as it's tracked.
And we recommend putting that on the agenda for January, both those revenues on the pool and the,
If not January, it would be February at the latest, because January's meeting is already stacking up considerably. Okay, I was looking at the major purchases for the senior center. We do the food resale. Guess that's about it. And I don't know if you caught it, but where there isn't telephone or it's called satellite TV, the internet, we didn't take time to put in the new accounts yet because there's gonna be more than a few that need to be addressed so that we track. There will not be as much thrown in miscellaneous if we've got our account lines defined better.
on the senior, down there, they had uniforms, 400, they spent 44. Is that on, I mean, is that on their aprons? It's on page 2?
That's the only thing that I know that it could be, that you don't have anything else, and,
That's the only thing to say from us.
okay, so we don't need that much, but, oh, we didn't budget anything for that.
Well, yeah, we didn't budget nothing.
But there's
That's why I was questioning.
$100 up there in miscellaneous, so that's covered, it can be transferred down there. Yes, we did cut down the miscellaneous on a lot of the departments, so that they will use other line items.
I'm happy to see that.
You have a question?
Nope, I'm just happy to see that purchase and free sale.
Oh,
of
well, if
food.
you're happy to see something, say it.
Well, I mean, it's for the food expenses, yeah. I'm happy to see that we budgeted 30,000 for that, and it looks like, actually, they spent 20,000, so maybe at some point, you know, there'll be a little extra there. I'm just, yeah, no,
Yeah, because this is the expense statement we're talking about.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if we go high, I asked about the uniforms because I know they get aprons down there. So we're going to just take that 100 from miscellaneous and take down there, right?
Probably $50 of it is all it
I
would be,
need to charge them for the satellite TV. No, just kidding.
but, okay. Ready to go into the electric? And the wages are less because instead of 4 people, we're trying to find a third person.
And that's not
The-
figured in that 166?
The third one is, but not the fourth.
Okay.
We're looking for a ground man that can be trained by our 2 linemen.
Right.
That would just make 3 then, right?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said 4.
No,
Oh, we used to have 4.
used to have 4.
We need 4.
We're
But
budgeting
can
for
we-
3.
Can we have a broker on that if they need help on the ground, another department?
I mean, we try to help between departments best we can, but sometimes, it all depends on the issue. A lot of times, it's nice to have a trained ground man, because if you're in the bucket and they holler down, I need a WR 459, a person needs to know where to go look. So, I mean, it does help to have somebody that is dedicated, but in the meantime, we bounce guys wherever we need
I was gonna say, because I've seen, one of them over Health and Sewer and,
Yeah.
you know, so.
to.
The two,
I'll say, I mean, like I said, we did have 4, if we can at least get 3, and if something bad happens, we can pull people.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
the contract labor of the 220,000 was put in there for such as a tree service.
Tree service and the H structures.
Okay, so you do have 160,000 there on our budget, but then you go there next and it shows 0. Did we not expend anything on that, or was it just recorded wrong?
On what?
On the electric department, contract labor. We have 220,000 budgeted, but we showed 160, and then we go past that and it's just zip.
Yeah, because we didn't.
There wasn't any contract labor that I know of paid out in 2024.
The last contract we had,
Okay.
the last contract we had was the alley project.
Then my question would be, when you back it on up, 2 years ago, if you back it on up, it was 160,000, we did use 34,000, then the next year, 160, and used 1,800. Is that just all accounting
Yes.
mess ups?
Well,
Because
Or
we
we did-
budgeted once again 160,000.
well, that's,
And we've got 0.
that's part of that, just copying and pasting from 23 to 24.
So did we have contract labor on electric last year?
I don't, no, I don't.
This
think we
year.
did.
Yeah,
This year.
yeah,
20,
This
just-
20,
we're in
24.
24.
Right.
Not that I'm aware of. This
No,
is the
so that's
last-
why I said-
Nothing was
last thing I
coded
remember was
there,
the alley
because-
project. So no, that was 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 24 numbers may not be coded in the correct line all the time, such as those court fees or whatever.
So what are we?
But any expenditure that went out in 2024 has been entered.
Right, but, okay, so what are we anticipating in 25 that we need to spend $220,000?
So that is the H structure project that you all voted on.
Okay,
And also, we put some extra in there for tree trimming, for stuff that we can't reach.
okay,
So for the, well, I mean, for instance, Casey's Tree Service, if we had to hire someone like that in, whether, I mean, we're gonna take bids, there's nothing set in
Okay,
stone.
yeah.
but-
No, is it-
But yeah, that's what it's for, because there are some stuff that we just can't reach.
right,
Uh,
I understand,
So we do
okay.
have
Didn't I
projects
just-
that you think we're gonna use this, it's not just.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got
Well,
some
no, the
stuff.
one project we voted on was,
That was the H structures and the poles down,
Right.
those chains.
right, so that's a big chunk of this.
Yeah.
But, okay, all right. Just want to make sure we're not throwing $220,000 out there and never going to spend it.
No, like I said, I think what was the bid on that, 165 or 168 for
Something
that?
like
Didn't I
that.
just say
H
that?
structures.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I had just said tree service, and he said age structure. Okay.
Yeah. Just want to make sure we're going to use it. There's- Yeah.
Well, it's available anyway.
Yeah.
The next thing is the power purchase. There's a little county mess up in there because if you look on page 25, you will see the 21 MUPA relief principal.
Okay.
Over to the right is the 127. And then it says relief interest, but it should be the relief reserve, because we're not being charged interest on the 2021 release. So projected is what the payment, the 127,304 will be the relief. The 104,904 is the reserve. And the power purchased itself is the 2,450,000.
What about the 8026, 2008, 8026? And that says interest too.
MPUA
Okay.
lease interest.
That's the 23 though. That's where we're paying that UMB.
Well, for that,
Alleyway project?
Yes.
Makes sense,
Is that
The
it?
one
Yeah,
that
that's-
is costing us a fortune.
she said yes.
We're gonna have to do something about that one of these days too.
Okay.
Yep, that's the
What's the
2023.
interest on that?
All right.
06, I don't have that in front of me.
Or did we say 8.5? Or did I say you did say?
Yeah, I was thinking it was like 6 or 7, but I wasn't positive.
Okay, it's too high.
Yes.
Go to Bank of America, we got 4%.
Probably not now, but.
Hey, there's a little
Okay,
question.
so we can go back to the transformer testing is a requirement.
Are we on, I would ask Eddie, are we on target? Okay, I know that Missouri on their electrical infrastructure, all the transformers and whatnot are gonna be changed out over a period of time
Well,
because they're changing the voltage.
with any new transformer that we put in,
I'm just asking, are we going to be, do we have a projected outlook as to when that's going to be? In other words, are we a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road?
I haven't heard a set time on when they're wanting that done by.
Okay, and what rate are we doing it at?
We're changing transformers out as they need to be changed out, because it is such a pricey project.
Right?
But I do know any new transformer we put in is changeable, so it's compatible with the higher voltage.
Right.
So- I don't know what the percentage are, what the percentage would be as far as how many transformers we have yet to change out. But I would say, if I had to put a number to it, I'd say we're probably at around the 40% mark, maybe 50%.
Okay.
So, and reason I say that is we have a lot of old transformers that are still in
Right,
service.
but this was basically started, what, 2 years ago?
Well, we've
2 to 3?
been working on it for probably the last, I would say 10 to 12 years, as far as whenever one would go bad, we would replace it with one that could be changed up to higher voltage.
Okay.
So, but nobody, I mean, I've never been aware of a, hey, we want to have this done by this date. So,
Okay. But that's included in
In what? What's that?
transformer testing and disposal.
that is for if we take a transformer out of service.
Right.
Does everyone that comes out of service has to be tested for PCBs? And as long as the test comes back good, we're fine. But if it comes back as a hot transformer, we have to have it disposed of. And that's where the cost is. So,
So with this rate increase that was voted in on the last council, is it gonna cover all, is it gonna bring us up to date and we won't be losing every month on our electric?
all the numbers say yes.
Okay. I know me and you talked about it yesterday, and it looked pretty positive. I didn't know if you'd done anything
I
else.
haven't had a chance to do anything further than what we've discussed. But,
Okay.
I mean, what we discussed pretty well covers everything, or what I had figured pretty well covered everything we've discussed. So, we talked about.
You need to tell the other council members what you discussed.
So, we had talked about in the last meeting, the possibility of making some changes above 1,000 kilowatts to kind of promote energy savings. The way our rate structure is right now, the more electricity you use, the cheaper the rate gets. So I went through, after just the last few days, I took a couple of our cheaper months, I say cheaper, our lower consumption months, and a couple of our highest consumption months, and I averaged those up. And I figured up, I only figured up single-phase services, so residential and single-phase commercial. Because three-phase commercial already has a separate demand charge. So there's a lot more, there's several more factors that come into figuring the electric rates for a three-phase with demand. That would be a commercial or industrial with demand. So from what I figured up, after averaging those together, that if we did the 1.5 cents across the board, like y'all discussed, and then anything over 1,000 kilowatts on just the single phase services where the demand is figured into it, we would be looking at approximately 707,000 kilowatts above that 1,000 kilowatt mark. So if you figure that, since we're already doing 1.5 cents across the board, if you add an additional 1 cent to those 707,362 kilowatts to put it at 2.5 cents, that'd be an additional $7,073 per month for any usage above 1,000 kilowatts. So, and it would hopefully promote a little bit of energy savings. Instead of just putting the whole increase, you know, if you just do it across the board, it doesn't do anything for promoting energy efficiency. Because you're spreading it out evenly, and you've got, for instance, your solar energy customers. Solar alternative energy is great, but it also keeps you in the lower usage, higher rate bracket. So you know, if you're generating power, if you use any power, it's not enough to break you out of that 1,000 kilowatt tier, so you stay in that highest rate possible. So by doing it this way, it hopefully promotes energy savings, and it doesn't put the whole burden on your lower usage customers. So we'll be looking at, what do we figure, roughly $84,000 additional revenue by putting an extra cent on kilowatts used above and beyond 1,000. So just for the single phase services, which would be residential, single phase commercial.
Another thing we discussed was how that other ordinance read about adding it on. And our utility clerk, that's all she would've got done, is changing the rates every month on however much electricity we use. It would have been terrible, right?
Absolutely, that's all we've ever got done. And when making all those changes, every time there's a change made, there's a potential for error.
Right.
So if you set it at a flat rate, it may not be as much as what BHMG wanted us to do, but it is a step in the right direction to hopefully plug a hole in a sinking ship. You know, because the numbers tell you right there, that we're not charging enough to cover what we're paying out. So, and it doesn't take long to lose your shirt in a deal like that.
Okay, one thing on the electric that, on page 25, where it says administration fee, and there's a $10,300 out there. Okay. The telephone and gateways, which is, how do I explain what gateways
The
is?
gateways are they are the hubs for our AMI metering system. our
The
automatic
metering system, that's what.
It collects all the data and sends it to City Hall via the internet.
The telephone and gateways and vision meter software is that $10,300, because there was no place in the line items already set up for electric to put those things. And they have been included in the dues and fees which is back over here, we're only budgeting $500 for dues and fees, not 7,000. The utilities each month that is coded to the electric department is under dues and fees. I don't know why, but that's the way it's been. So the reason that dues and fees is so low and the administration fee is so high is because this administration fee is going to have to be changed into 3 other, or 2 other. No, they don't have any utilities. We need a utility line, a vision meter software line, and the telephone line. Or account. I shouldn't call these lines, they're accounts. Now, did that confuse you? Again, it's in the right department, it's just in the wrong line, the wrong account. Okay, any other questions on the electric?
But in our oversee, it's showing the electric is down 47,000.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Again, this is just projection. And I know that we're used to the electric department carrying the burden of the city, but electric rates got reduced several years ago and they've never been increased since. So, and we don't have enough tax revenue come in to make up for any of that, which I might throw out here to undo the voluntarily zero tax levy. You can only do that in an even year, even if you wanted to do it, so. That's for another discussion for another day also.
Can we step back to senior center? Did we get it straightened out on it being nonprofit?
No, that's what I said, we still have to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. This is my understanding if the board should be the nonprofit,
Right.
not the senior center.
Right, that's what I
Because
was
the
told.
center is the city and the board is the nonprofit, but that's not the way it's designated, is my understanding. But I have a call into the Secretary of State for that. I mean, it's been going on for several years and never fixed, but we will get it fixed in 2025. Okay, are we to the sewer and water now? I might interject here that the ordinance with DNR, and this is not strictly sewer, it is water and sewer combined. But you can't have the sewer without the water, so you have to look at it as a whole department, sewer, water, and wastewater. And for the salaries, because there are 3 departments, sewer, the sewer and water fund, and then the 80s are sewer, the 81 is water, and the 82 is wastewater. The salaries entered here under 85,000 down to 5125, that is water and sewer. 'Cause if you look over under water, then there's nothing budgeted for those. That was just a time frame figuring, so it is included in the base salaries again for both departments. That 123,157 is the base salary for sewer and water.
So the 3081, 5,000, that is no wages, because we got that in water.
Where are you talking about there?
On page 27 down, it says water department wages salary.
Right, That's what I'm saying, where there's nothing there, it's included up here.
Okay.
I know it's confusing,
There was nothing there.
but that was
because
what was on the worksheet, and I just skipped over, not breaking it down.
Well, when I looked at it, it looked like it was there because it was the last
Yeah.
number.
You can see that the replacement shows under administration fee, got 57,750, and then the debt service, the 213,458. Those figures are taken off of that ordinance attachment or exhibit
Where you at?
that we
Page 27.
Seven.
Okay, gotcha.
And on the second page of the overview is the breakdown of the sewer rate system revenue and the water revenue. Because we still, I know that DNR took into account Waterman sales for, I don't know how many, which years they were using, but it was like $619 or something. And our Waterman sales is the, up there at the old firehouse.
Right.
And again, the replacement schedule is part of that project. And then and this is part of it, that begging, asking for the $10,000 for that $40 dump truck.
They do realize they're gonna have to wait on that till we get some,
Yeah, but it's a goal. And the wastewater, it's all pretty self-explanatory there.
there was one question I wanted to ask on, when we was on airport, not air, yeah, you know, they got was that heating and cooling, did you ever find that, if that heating and cooling system up there was on a grant?
At the airport?
Last year, was that last year? 2 years, last year,
You're talking about 24 or 23?
23?
I don't know how it could have been, but
Well, I was told that it was from a grant, and then I was told no, it wasn't, and I just wondered if that,
maybe Eddie would know for sure, but. And then after wastewater, we go to sanitation.
what on wastewater, what are we planning on letting them get up to code down there? I looked at some of this, it says equipment, $10,000.
That's all part of that $454,000 maintenance and operation.
I just wondered if they'd ask for certain things, because I know a lot of the equipment that, a lot of their job is they're doing stuff by hand that they needed a motor to make a piece of equipment to run, and
Right, well, I don't know, we got one of them home. I think that was the motor
well, the
we
thing
talked
that,
about.
what did he, the clarifier,
Yeah.
Yes,
wasn't it what he was asking for, the clarifier that cleans the screen, so they won't have to do that by hand?
yes, well, wastewater asked for a sludge truck and a side-by-side utility vehicle, but the
that sludge truck figured in here?
That's figured in the replacement of on the project, is
Okay.
what the sludge truck is. Let's see what we got.
Because that, I know when he spoke that night, he was talking about a clarifier, is that what he's called it? Clarifier?
Mhm.
And I know when I went down there, they definitely need that.
Yeah, when he was going back to the ordinance that we were supposed to put the $90,000 in, which we don't have, but the SCADA system, they need repairs to the skimmers and
Yeah,
the
the
machinery
skimmers, no.
equipment, quotes for the sludge truck, which, that'll be in there, but. I know that word clarifier is in here somewhere.
That one day I was down there, that skimmer's supposed to skim.
I guess that's, the skimmer's on the clarifier,
Right,
about $20,000, so.
they was having to
But
do
again-
with the pool.
With our $454,000 operation and maintenance that we're required to have. As
Well, we
we
did
get
that.
it, we'll be able to
We did
get
put
some
that-
of these things done.
We did put that one CD back for helping them out down there.
Yes, however, you can't hold over money, but that, well, I'll address that in a minute. Okay. Any other questions before we get to sanitation? It wasn't a major change, but the one change that we had was the tipping fees, because they did go up. And on the page 34, where it shows 16,000 up there expended for vehicles, and then the principal payments in 1903, that kind of added together in that 38,808. Some of it was coded for vehicles and some of it was coded for principal payments. It is the payment on the sanitation dump truck. And there you have it.
So the tipping fees, that's $2,000.
No, last year they had a budget of 110, it cost us 120. And we only put 114 on our budget.
That was based on the $63 and
Right, every time.
at the 1,800 tons. And I don't know, how many dump or sanitation trucks do we have running? Two?
Right now, the third one's waiting to be fixed. We've got two primaries and one backup truck. I did do some little checking on the compression test with that 2010. I haven't got the test done yet because the primer pump went out before they could get it in the shop. But the primer pump could be
What's the
a
problem?
good reason why they have hard starts, which is why they thought they might be low on compression. But once they get that on there, that may fix the problem.
We're gonna reward it.
No, that's the 2010 model.
Okay.
Eddie, was in 23 was the cooling and heating out there at the airport, was that done on the grant?
I don't remember or not, I would have to do some digging and see what I can find. Make a note of it and see what I can
That's what I was gonna ask you, on the shop,
The shop.
yes, does he have,
So, are you talking about the maintenance shop or the street department shop? Is that, there's both shop in, the mechanic shop, so he has a working heater, it is old, it's a dinosaur, but it does work. Would we benefit from a new one? Absolutely. But I know last winter we had trouble with it, and it wasn't working. They got it working, got it fixed, they're doing pretty good. But, like I said, it is antiquated, I mean, it's the original, probably what, 96 model, or something like that. But it does work, and it does heat the shop.
And we've got it in the budget.
I think probably, I
We
think
have it in the
probably the
budget.
reason she's asking is because in 2023, the airport was approved as well as the maintenance shed was approved. Okay, and both of them were $10,000 basically for heating and air.
Yeah.
The airport got done, but the guy, and it gets used twice a week, and the maintenance shed did not get done. So what we're trying to figure out, and actually I would like to figure out personally, is was that done with a grant? Or did we spend the money to do that and not spend the money to do it down there that gets used every day?
But even if it was, we can't do anything
I
about it.
realize that, but it was like,
But there is, for the heating system for the shop is in here, and also some foam insulation for one of the bays, I think that's where the street department, and then, so the truck can start in the morning,
So, what's
but that's in the budget.
during bad weather, if they're out plowing, salt or whatever, they've always had to pull the trucks up into the maintenance building to keep them from freezing up, or when they do ice up, it thaws them out. Well, it makes a pretty good mess in his shop, and it also plugs his shop up. You know, it takes up at least 2 of his 3 days. So, we've got a big enough shop down there with a 5-brick heater in it. But that 5-brick heater don't do anything in a shop that size with no insulation. So if we was able to keep that shop at even 50 degrees when it gets cold like that, we can pull the trucks in there, let them thaw out, and we're not plugging up the maintenance shop.
well, like Calvin said, and that was, I know we can't do nothing about it. I just don't understand where it was worth $10,000 to do the airport when we have 2 people going in there, maybe a week, but we've got a guy down there in 2023 that was working in a cold shop. Why didn't we get him a heater and insulate it for $10,000? I mean, we just gotta get our priorities in the right direction,
And that's why we have these things in the budget,
Right,
so that we
I know.
can take care of them.
And that's what we're working, that's what, I was gonna finish it up with, that's what we're trying to figure out why, and so that the mayor can, she's gotta set it in the right direction, so.
Mayor, on the sanitation department, page 33, I know we've talked about the tipping fees, but in the expenditure last year, for this year currently, it's $121,000, and for the new budget, it's $114,000. If the tipping fees are going up, would it be more?
Well, I based it on what they projected the, unless I calculated it wrong.
Yeah, I asked her that.
63 point something by, I wrote that down.
By 1,800,
1,800 ton,
right.
that's 60 something per ton.
Right here, 6304.
304 times 1,800.
That's what,
Then,
113,472.
that- Okay, that's why I put it in there.
Well,
Now, there could be something else coded in that, or they made more runs than what they're,
well, did we have, from the tornado, did we
Well-
haul more?
I think we had two spring cleanups, but I think we actually had
Two
two town
cleanups,
line
yeah.
cleanups.
Yeah.
So,
yes, because we had that one after the tornado, so
Okay.
that
I was gonna
probably,
say, because I know there was a lot of metal and junk all over the streets, and
yeah,
didn't that get hauled to sanitation, some of that?
very, very good possibility. I mean, street guys haul mainly brush, but I'm sure there was a lot of people taking extra stuff down there. I'm sure they were finding parts of houses that weren't theirs.
Of course, a lot of that would have went or recycling that metal
The
and,
metal wood, yeah.
yeah.
But I do remember we had a second, because we had one early spring, I know we had like a townwide yard sale, and then we had, that was pretty close to the tornado, then we had another townwide cleanup, so I'd say that's probably why we had the extra cost.
Okay.
Well, I seen out there at Fox Circle,
Yeah.
several people had dumpsters in there, so I'm sure,
And that'll contribute to it.
but that's why the 114 is in there. Okay, do we have any other questions on any of this?
just a minute, I looked it on the other sheet, just let me make sure I correctly.
Are we actively looking for more police officers since we're down?
Not at this time, no. He's living with the 9.
Unfortunately, yes.
Because we need to be very proud and support our police. But when you've got a $900 and some $1,000 budget for the police and our tax revenue coming in as it is,
Doesn't add up, does it?
no, it doesn't. And I'll say it right now, we need a property tax and we need an increase in sales tax to ever keep going forward in this, for this city. Now, everybody can say that the mayor wants to raise the taxes.
You're gonna be the tax ladies, though, I gotta say.
Well,
I'm kidding you now. Oh. Yes.
I'm looking for an industry to come in. I have not found one yet, but we will be looking for industries. We will be looking for grants. And we will be providing the council what it takes to increase taxes.
On the first one you did, on revenue, or on expenses,
Mhm.
on the gas and oil at the airport, it showed 45,000.
What page is that, Judy?
It's on the first one.
She's
not the- on
looking at the,
Page 6 on the old one that we've got in our packet. The only thing I was gonna say, it showed that we, the revenue on that was 58,000, so we do make money on that fuel out there, don't we?
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna question.
we try to be competitive with, I mean, we try to,
revenue share.
try to draw people in
What do you,
every chance we
What's
get.
The
but
expense, the expense was
Got the big Oshkosh
45,
buy-in,
and the
Oh,
revenue was at 58.
yeah, yeah.
might run a special on fuel, and we might pull people 400 miles off pat just to fuel up.
Well, that's what I was saying, because
And even if during that time period, we may be just barely breaking even, but we're putting our airport on the map by doing that.
what do they call that?
Here, it's the same thing in the new one. I was wondering
Okay.
what,
Well,
why there was a difference.
I had this,
Okay.
I had this question mark
All right.
at home.
Doesn't upset.
What do they call that when they do that? Poker Run.
The
Oh,
fly-in.
You know what I'm talking about? I talked to a lot of them that day,
That's
and,
motorcycle,
huh?
that's motorcycle.
Yeah, but what do they call it on the airplane?
fly-
They call it poker round.
And it's still Poker Run Fly Air.
They
Air Poker
use
Run.
cards, so
Yes, they sure do. And they're serious about that too.
they are.
But they, several of them said, even when they're just flying, not in nothing like that, they go out of their way to stop at Mountain View because of our fuel. So
Our
we
fuel.
really need
We,
to,
our,
We
the
need
guy
to
we've
get
got helping down
jet
there,
fuel in there. is
that
what
would
we
be
need
great.
to
The
do.
guy we've got helping down there has been doing quite a bit with the airport Facebook page, pushing local businesses downtown, stuff, walking distance. Roscoe's Barbecue, just right up the street from the airport. So, I mean, he has done quite a bit to get Mountain View out there. And we've got a pretty good airstrip. I mean, it does need work, but we've got one of the longer ones in the state,
Right.
really. I mean,
who was the guy flying Sunday that has the big long tail out of the back?
so that is an independent company out of, I think they're based out of Canada, but they are contracted and they're doing mapping,
Okay.
is what I was told. So they have been buying a lot of fuel, so,
Is that the one that run us out of fuel?
yeah, yeah. They didn't tell us how much they were gonna be burning. They're,
Well,
when they're
everybody on-
flying hard, they'll burn 300 gallons a day.
Everybody on the golf course Sunday was thinking maybe, we was gonna get sprayed with something because of that big long
No,
tail
it's
on the
a,
back of that.
yeah, it's an antenna, it reads magnetics.
I'm sure it was a drone.
No, it could have been a drone. No, it was daylight. They only fly at night.
Okay, if there's no further questions, then I ask that
He's gonna ask a
you
lot.
approve the resolution to adopt this budget as presented. And I will ask Jessica to read the resolution.
Okay.
And before you do that, according to state statute, almost every decision that is made by this Board of Aldermen has to have a bill, which goes to a resolution, or a bill that goes to an ordinance, just like the state government does, just like the federal government does. And then each of those are codified in our city codes. And this has not been done for the past several years. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort for our city code books to be brought up to date. But we are working on it. Please.
Bill number 1418, resolution 24-12-19. A resolution of the City of Mountain View, Missouri, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2025, including appropriating the funds as allocated to various accounts and authorizing expenditure of such funds by the mayor, city clerk, city treasurer, and other officials for the purposes indicated. Be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Mountain View, Missouri as follows. Section 1, for the purposes of financing and conducting the affairs of the City of Mountain View during the fiscal year from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, inclusive, the budget of the city's revenue and expenses for such period prepared and presented to the Board of Aldermen is hereby approved and adopted as the official budget for the City of Mountain View. Section 2, the amount set forth in the various funds under the classes of expenditures for personnel, supplies, services, maintenance, capital outlay, etc., are hereby appropriated as such uses and authority is hereby given to the mayor, city clerk, city treasurer, and other city officials of the City of Mountain View to expend amounts shown for the purposes indicated. All major expenditures, excluding general expenses, shall be approved by the Board of Aldermen. Section 3, appropriation within a department other than salaries may be transferred upon approval of the mayor and Board of Aldermen for the purposes of equalization when necessary.
I call for a motion to approve Resolution 24-12-19.
Can we get it discussed after this, because it's not a second reading.
We'll get a have a motion and a second, you will get to discuss.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Any discussion?
Yes. I'd like for you to tell them the total of our expenses and revenue.
Oh, the total budget,
Yes.
$8,001,097.
And our total expenses and revenue.
$8,001,097. Any further discussion?
The bill number on that again?
Bill number 1418, resolution number 241219. If there's no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Martin.
Aye.
Alderman Yarder.
Aye.
Alderwoman Coulter.
Aye.
Alderman Perry.
Aye.
Motion carried, the resolution has passed, the budget is adopted. Thank you very much. Bill number 1418, resolution 241219. Okay, the next item is what I added, the wastewater project interfund extension. The board gave me, did you find it?
Yes.
Approval to get the extension on that interim funding for that $375,000. The bank of, the Simmons Bank has authorized extending until March. They can give us 2 extensions before it has to go back to their board. It would entail our interest payment, which is $12,143.09. We do have an outstanding additional invoice from the engineer for $119,274.49, which, the way the grants work, you would get interim funding for that. And again, this is all reimbursable after we get the funding.
Except
There-
for the interest?
Pardon?
Except for the interest.
I believe the interest is also, but I will have to confirm that. Yeah, that's a separate line item even.
Okay.
Yes, there is. So, the extension until March, then we will have a better time frame of going forward with when we will get some funding off of that project. As far as
Go ahead.
As far as the additional invoice, Simmons would loan that, but we would have to put the CDs that are at Simmons Bank as collateral. I would like to see, and this is a proposal, we have the $136,555.29, which was a CD at a lower interest rate than what our checking account is designated for the wastewater project. I would like to see, instead of incurring the interest on this additional $100,000, that we, because we don't know definitely when we will be getting any reimbursement, that we pay the interest payment and this Horner and Schifrin invoice out of that money.
What would the savings, in other words, the interest rate at this point in time
Is a 4.5 is what we're getting on that money, yes.
okay, and we're getting what we're getting 4.5 on that CD?
On that checking, it's not a CD, it's in that interest checking account.
Okay, and what would they charge, Simmons Bank charge us?
It's
for-
6.8. It doesn't even say it.
6.8?
It's 6 something though, yes.
But if we do that, won't that take away from the wastewater plant getting some of their very needed stuff? Did we move?
Well, we didn't include this money in the budget because we were talking what comes in and goes out for the year 2025, and that money is already in there.
Right.
But, and there is really, we don't plan on using those CDs for anything. They've not been designated for anything, so they could very well be the collateral for the,
Oh, this
and
is,
then all of that come out of the funding whenever we get it. So, I guess there's two options.
because didn't we put some in street fund, but street fund gets transportation tax?
Yes.
So could we not use that because we're getting transportation tax and we're not getting, what kind of tax on wastewater? I would just like, for me, it's just a pet peeve. I'd just like to see the guys at wastewater get equipment where they don't have to deal with what they have to deal with,
Well,
put a hand on it.
the street department and the water and sewer department, but the water and sewer department and the wastewater will be taken care of. We have to, we almost have to say, we have to spend $454,000 a year.
Right.
That's for maintenance and operation, so that includes salaries and not just replacement. Because the replacement is a schedule that's several years in the making, so.
So what do we have designated on the CD that, or that we moved into that one, that restricted account for the streets, what?
$125,982.19.
Right,
But again, okay, I'm going to make a different request. Because I think because we know that, yes, the interest is a separate line item on the funding for the grant. So if, okay, we make the principal payment and request whether it'd be like 120,000, and the two CDs that are there, use them as the collateral, because we know that we will get that money reimbursed, and keep the project in the project and not disturb these funds.
Well, I don't mind your idea. I mean, it looks like to me that in the long run, if we paid them off, we'd save money by cashing in what you're asking. That's
Well,
why I
it's not
asked about
cashing
the
in.
interest rate. We basically saved 2.5% interest. I mean, we're only getting 4% on one, and the other one's charging us 6.5%. So we get a 2.5% savings and no longer have that bill to worry about, and then be able to carry
Using
what.
this money, because it is in a separate checking account at this point, it's not gonna take away from the wastewater.
Right, that's what I
Operations they
understood. But what it's going to do is it's going to, month after month after month, free up money to be used that we would be paying 2.5% interest on. That's the way I see it.
the only
Yeah,
thing
if we
I'm
were
saying,
getting we don't know for sure when we'll be getting the reimbursement.
Right, but the reimbursement, when it does come in, can be earmarked to once again,
To replace that.
yeah, to replace that. And so I don't think we're actually, I understand what you're saying, Judy, about that, but I also understand this, that in 6-month period of time, a 2.5% interest rate,
well, I understand that.
yeah, I know you do, but what I'm saying is, you
What
know,
I'm saying, did we designate a certain reason to put one of those CDs over to street department when street department's got transportation taxes going into
It's
it?
because we did not have a transportation fund
Right.
set up in the first place.
right,
That's the reason that was done.
that was done that way to
So what was your
Okay,
idea?
to take
Second
them,
idea?
okay, this is a separate bank account from the general. that has the cemetery money in it, the transportation, the wastewater project, and the interest that was in there already. So to take that 136,000, pay this invoice off and the interest payment that we have with the interim funding, and extend that for another 3 months till March. At that time, then we will have made advanced steps on this project, that we will have a better estimate of when the funding will be available, the reimbursement, and we may have to extend it another 3 months at that time. But if we do,
What, okay, this is street money you're talking about, not
no,
sewer money.
no, I'm not
It's
talking about the
100,000.
street at all. The 136,000
Is in
is,
wastewater.
I know,
Set
but
aside
the
for-
100,000 that you're talking about is the one that we created for streets, right?
no, this 100,000 right here is an invoice. We're not talking about the street money at all.
No, what's the invoice for?
The invoice is engineering on the wastewater project, the same thing that the $375,000 was.
Okay, unless the bank account that you're talking about spending the 100,000 on was created for streets, wasn't it?
No, 125,000 of it
Okay.
was, 136,000 was for the wastewater project.
Okay,
That's
Well, that's
the
what
money
this
I
bid
wanna
fell on.
use to pay
Yeah.
this invoice and the interest on the Simmons loan.
And then, when we get reimbursed that, we'll put it back in that wastewater
Yes.
project
Yes.
for restricted,
Right.
Yes.
back into the restricted
Yes.
fund.
Yes,
because if we keep borrowing money, we just turn around and end up costing us more.
It cost us
But this-
enough on the alley project to
Yeah, well.
take care of all of that. Add it all together, it's disgusting.
okay.
Okay,
I'm asking for a motion to use the money in the restricted bank account, if that's what you want to call it, that's what I've written it down as,
Right.
that was designated for the wastewater project, to pay the interest payment of $12,143.09 to Simmons Bank, and the invoice for Horner and Schiffer of $119,274.49.
do we anticipate more from Horn and Schiffer?
In 3 months, she said.
Should
Okay,
nothing in the near future
okay.
that I am aware of. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I would second that.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Martin,
Aye.
Alderman Yarber,
Aye.
Alderman Coulter,
Okay, as long as we put it back in here, I'll go with that. All right.
That's the intention.
Alderman Miller.
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, I just have a couple of announcements. I'm sure you're all aware of the netting that is closed off the sidewalk down here. That is due to that awning on that building is unsafe. Both Eddie and Jason went down and looked at it. I assume the police department has looked at it also.
It's way and way down.
Yes. So
That's an understatement.
it is now a nuisance and will be treated that way. Hopefully. Now, we also apparently may have a nuisance at the corner of Main and Elm Street. It was my understanding that the removal of the debris was in progress, but I haven't seen any progress. So the city will be getting in touch with both property owners of these two places and take appropriate action.
At the Front Street first, I heard there was contractual bids on it, and it was being done.
That was my understanding, that's what I was told, that it was to be done, but it hasn't been so far.
Is that it?
I believe that is it, if there's no further business.
I'd like to address a couple of things.
Oh, okay,
Okay, the building across the street, we were standing down there watching them pave. There's bricks on top of that building. And then there's a pretty good crack in the wall. The store right there, you can go over and look, and you can look up there and see where those bricks have fallen off of the top.
which building?
Jason's not here, but down here on the corner of, right here. The one right straight across the street from the one that you got roped off, that's got the stuff painted on the walls.
Oh, the corner of Oak and First Street
There
is
you
what
go.
you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Oak and First,
Okay,
yeah, if you look at that building at some point in time, remember we put there,
There are bricks missing.
yeah, at the very top, there's bricks falling off of that. I haven't seen any on the sidewalk, but there's also a pretty good crack. If you look at that wall right there, and if you look at where the window is, it's boarded up, you'll see,
Yeah.
you'll see this going up. And so perhaps our building inspector could address that.
Okay.
I
Since
mean,
this
maybe
is
they
not
need to get an engineer
on the
there to look.
agenda, we'll have no, a formal action, but I'm taking notes.
Okay, and that's fine.
Okay,
I just wanted to bring that to the city's attention.
There's another one.
And I would like to say to everybody out there, if you haven't ever sat there and done one of these, the office personnel that did this, as well as the mayor and the other people that were involved in this, I'd just like to say thank you.
you're welcome.
I would really like to say thank you, because this is a monster. And I'd hate to think what Springfield would look like.
There's another building that our building inspector needs to look at. And that's the building right beside the post office. Postmaster was complaining about it.
East of it or west of it?
Second, and the old Curtis
Oh,
building.
yeah.
Look right between it and the post office at the crack down side of it.
I can walk through there here.
You can see it from the 500 street. So that's another one we need to have him look at.
I've made notes so that we don't. Okay.
Well, hope
Can I
everybody
address
have a
you
Merry
guys?
Christmas.
Pardon?
Can I address you guys?
Yes, if you will come to the podium and give your name and
My name's Dwayne Tabor. Most of you know me. I live on County Road 3500. It's brought to my attention about an hour and a half ago. I drive a truck. The company I drive for called me, said that there's the first corner from the anchor, Les Tabor, which is my first cousin, lives there. He drove posts around that corner, because sometimes I come through there with my truck. I ain't been through there in forever. The commissioner come out and made him remove half of them. The city, I think, come today and remove 2 more, I believe. He called my Facebooked the company I drive for, said that he talked to the sheriff, he talked to the mayor, he was in the right, and I was going to be issued tickets and sued. So I just happened to be close enough to home, and I turned her around and come back, because he said you guys were all in meeting today and going to discuss it. I called the sheriff on my way down here. My father's sitting back there, had him on speakerphone. He said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I said, well, I'm on my way to the council meeting, and I guess if they're gonna arrest me, they can arrest me or issue me tickets or whatever they wanna do.
I know nothing about issuing you tickets or anything like that. Les Tabor did call, and that's when I looked up to see what streets in the city are supposed to allow tractor trailers, and that's as far as it had gotten.
Does that street allow them?
No, it
It
does
don't,
not.
why isn't it posted, ma'am?
Well, and that's one of the things that needs to be taken up, but it'll have to be done at a different time.
Okay, then that means we legally can't pull off to go into Signal unless we pull in their driveway. Right?
According to what I saw written, but Eddie may be able to address more of
Or the
that.
anchor, I mean the anchor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's one of those things that has to be fixed in this
But
town.
here's what's bothering me. If he's using your name as a person to arrest or sue, and you're
There's
behind
no
it,
way he can use my
He
name
did,
to
ma'am.
arrest or write tickets or anything else.
then you need to discuss with him and tell him to stay shut to my company
Well,
with your name. You know what I mean?
I understand, yes.
Yeah. Do you not agree? I thank
we
you very
cannot-
much.
We cannot control how the citizens or the public use our names.
Yeah,
We can request, but that's as far as it goes.
okay.
And I hope you understand that.
And I ain't been through there in forever, you know, way before he put the post up. He said, I've got you on tape July. And I said, July, big deal.
But, I mean, we can't get involved in that. All that I could do was look up and see what the streets
But he brought you
are
into
at.
that, ma'am.
Well, yes, my name is used
Oh.
a lot.
Well,
And when they call my company that I work for and saying that you guys are gonna sue them and sue me and issue me tickets, you know,
We
I
can't-
mean, unless
We
it's-
can't do that.
I know. Well, I know that, but I wanted aware that that is going on. And
Thank you for letting us know.
I must admit, I am curious, is that not a gravel road?
that's a paved road up until the first corner in the city or the state, or the county give it to the city for Fox Circle. And on that corner, from there on, it's county. And I talked to the northern commissioner, he come out there,
This same road Murray Anderson's place?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's paved?
yep, chip seal,
It's
chip
paved
seal.
to the corner where he's talking about, which turns into
I must admit,
35.
I've turned up and I never noticed, I always just thought it was gravel
It
road.
was till, what, 2018, somewhere around
Yeah.
there?
That's when the county.
And then the county relief told the city if they chip seal it and maintain it, they could have it. I don't know if there's any written things in the books or not,
It's paved.
but all I want
Yeah.
is to keep him off the phone and off of Facebook, contacting people that has nothing to do with it. And throwing people's name out as a
If we
arrest.
could do that, that would be marvelous.
Well, I'm just being respectful as I can. But you can start with that by telling him, keep your name out of it until it's legal. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing further, then I call for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion?
I call for a motion to tell everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy. And then we'll make a motion.
Okay, we have two motions on, and no second. Let's have your motion first.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and enjoy.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all very much.
You said it'd be much fun, you didn't have